Make no mistake about it, we wouldn't have a border crisis under my watch. Hell no. We wouldn't have this crime that exists in the streets of New York. You wouldn't hear about me saying defund the police. We ain't defunding any police. I'm calling 911 when there's a problem.
Does you worry about racism if you ran for president?
No. I know it exists. I know that you can't escape it, but I do not believe it is as prevalent as some on the left would like us to believe. What's going on now is that we have more white Americans and others suffering and worried about the state of our nation. And because they're concerned about that, that's where their worries lie.
Now what's the word, Captain? I think I caught you lacking. Down 9 more players that this hell's packing.
Man, exactly what is this? You know, I heard Stephen A while ago say that he wasn't going to touch the presidency. I thought that was kind of a PC answer. You dig what I mean? But we've been seeing him here lately, you know, try his hand at all these different political stances and going on the occasional show. You dig what I'm saying? But make no mistake, people. Make no mistake. And I'm political, but I don't do a lot of political shows. But I tell you, I will lean heavily into it if that's what it takes to make sure that people take Stephen A as unseriously as possible. You dig what I'm saying? I do not have to remind you of the various shit takes that have come out of Stephen A's mouth over the past year.
My big issue is that I'm really, really sick and tired of every time I turn around finding something else that the Democrats have lied about or downplayed or misrepresented along the way. And now here we are yet again finding even more evidence to Donald Trump's claims when he articulated that the process is rigged. You know what I'm getting to the Democratic Party? You know what I'm getting really pissed off about? I'm getting really ticked off at every time they open their mouth about something pertaining to y'all, they seem right.
Just to name a few. You dig what I'm saying? Now, everything that he just said was so milquetoast and vanilla bland. It sounds like a staunch Republican to me. It sounds like the same little rhetoric that Donald Trump came with to get people riled up. Now, the difference between him and Donald Trump is that Stephen A. Smith, at least in the Republican Party, does not have the skin to win. And the shit that's coming out of his mouth right now, I don't know any people on the left side of the fence that's going to be interested in vote for Stephen A. Smith. You dig what I'm saying? So now I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, what could be a good outcome? How could I accept this in any way, shape, form, or fashion? Okay. If he were to run on the Democrat side, I think it'd just be a heavily influenced, make a fool out of Stephen A. campaign. You dig what I'm saying? He's going to get on some stages and talk to some people, and it's going to be obvious that he's not well read. He's not historically well put in this thing. He just kind of, fly by night flash bang politics commentator because he's got $100 million contract from ESPN, and so that makes him one of the most highest paid black men out here, and in the community. A nigga think he gets some money that make him smart. So on the Democrat side, I don't know. You have to be afraid of votes being taken, but I don't know that would happen on the Democrat side because no one takes him seriously over there. Now, as far as on the Republican ticket, if he would have run on the Republican ticket, that's going to out him as what we thought he was the whole entire time.
I have always been against woke culture. I have always been against open borders. I'm totally aligned with Patrick Bet-David on the issue of woke culture and parental influence or lack thereof that the administration and the left were trying to impose upon the will of the American people. How dare them? Make no mistake about it, we wouldn't have a border crisis under my watch. Hell no. We wouldn't have this crime that exists in the streets of New York. You wouldn't hear about me saying defund the police. We ain't defunding any police. I'm calling 911 when there's a problem. I know you're calling 911 when there's a problem. I'll be damned if I'm going to have less police officers out there. There's going to be more. That's me. I would focus on a flourishing economy and making sure we did everything we could, because I believe when you have something to lose, you know how to behave. When you have something to lose, you know how to behave. If you have nothing to nothing to lose. And as a result, you're willing to tear down anything, even if it's America, because you feel betrayed by a country that's supposed to be looking out for you and positioning you to thrive instead of wallow in misery and suffering. So, of course, I would pay attention to the economy. I would pay attention to all of those things.
So I don't even really know how many places he has to turn. But if I were going to recommend anything for him, if it was anything that I was going to feel good about in a presidential political run for one Stephen A. Smith, I would have to say that it would be in running as a Republican and taking some votes away from the J.D. Vances and whoever else. It's going to be interesting to see who jumps in the ring on the right side. But it would be lovely for him to jump in there and take some votes away, because I'm already seeing some comments from some people, and it's evident that a couple of people, at least, that are trying to put some wind into his sails. You dig what I'm saying? Notably, this lady right here, and I thought this was just a piss poor take on what we seeing developing here.
Listen, you guys may think I'm crazy, but if I'm the Democrats, given Stephen A's name recognition and his constant ability to attract audience, to speak in sound bites, to debate, because Stephen A on a debate stage, it will get real. Again, we have a president that is loose on the facts. And I know some of you are thinking like, but he's black. He's not going to be able to get away with the same things that Donald Trump is. Sure, to a degree, but he will if he has a message and messaging that connects with white people. He absolutely will. So if I'm the Democrats and I see Stephen A constantly talking about running for president, this is CBS News that is doing a big piece on him on their morning show. ABC's already done a piece on him. He's a best-selling author. He's already got media wired. The Democrats need to take him seriously. He's a threat. If you're a Democrat that wants to run for president, or if you, as the party in general, don't want someone like Stephen A's popularity or people to start paying more attention to his politics, and you don't want people to give more consideration to him running, then you nip this in the bud. You start taking him seriously.
Jamil says on the latest episode of Spolitics Live, I explained why the Democrats should take Stephen A. Smith seriously as a presidential candidate. Now, I did not do myself the disservice of watching that episode. Now I ain't gonna really go in on Jamil like that, because I like Jamil. Jamil be for the cause, but I feel like this is the cold take right here. It's probably some leftover alliances from her former ESPN days, but I could have sworn that I've seen her be critical of Stephen A. here lately, and not to speak on this got to be like this cultist type of personality that they try to ascribe to everything to point where a person has to say something that you agree with 100% full sale. All their stances have to be just completely aligned with yours. That's not what I'm saying. But when you heard what Stephen A. said, we definitely won't have a border crisis under my watch, bro. This whole border crisis thing didn't become a deal until Trump started swearing it was. You know what I'm saying? Even under Biden, when all the criminals were coming, I mean, damn, I call these people criminals, my bad. When all the illegal people were coming in or what have you, so asylum seekers, however you want to label them, I don't know that we had an epidemic of crime and just people getting in the way and taking jobs. I don't know that we had that. We had an abundance of workers out here in these farms and these plants and all this, that, and the third, bro. Did some of them commit crimes? Of course. I mean, from what I understand, the numbers are nowhere near the scale of natural born citizens. You did what I'm saying, the United States that commit crime. So I don't know that was a big deal until Trump made it one. And it's just really a big deal because in large part, as you can see, the immigrants that come here are of brown skin. And so a person of Trump's demographic and his cohorts, They villainize him because of that. That's the only problem with him. Not what they doing in the country or not doing in the country, because of all these factory workers that are owned by people like Donald Trump and them willingly hired them and all of this, looking past all these crazy crimes they supposedly be committing and all of that, man. So you hear Stephen A. speak, and it's like, bro, this sounds like a mini Trump right here. And of course, a guy like Trump has sparked many a celebrity to think that if they get on here and just say a couple of things that convince people, well, you know, Donald Trump did and ascend to the presidency twice. Hell, I got a shot at doing it once. And so I can see why they would try it. But, you know, I think a person like Stephen A., or any person that generally, you know, they doesn't come across as a genuine human being when it comes to these political stances and the problems of the world, I think it's an opportunity for them to show their hand. You dig what I'm saying? It's like they cannot help but to assume that they are of a particular character, of a particular breed of individual that really are admired by the masses and valuable to be put in such a position, bro. Like, it takes, you know, wanting to be president is one thing, but to be a person like Stephen A. and all of a sudden start to think and act like you really are qualified to be the president because of a person like Donald Trump, although we see where the United States is right now, you see him talking glowingly about he'd be looking at a good economy. Nigga, Trump said the same thing now. Say, look at the economy now. Is it great? Has it been great since anytime he was in office? Like, what are we talking about, bro? So I'll go hard against Stephen A. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't rooting for everything black. I've told y'all that before.
Stephen A. Smith isn't a political analyst. Stephen A. Smith is a trained SEAL who's only good at two things: barking at black personalities in the media and clapping for his handlers. And I'll give you three things about it. Thing number one: Stephen A. Smith and his forehead took to his podcast to criticize Jasmine Crockett for her work defending Black America against Donald Trump and his fascist administration.
Now, Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself. I'm like, is that going to help your district in Texas? Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to just being an impediment to what Trump wants? How much work goes into that? I'm just going to go off about Trump, cuss him out every chance I get, say the most derogatory, incendiary things imaginable, and that's my day's work. That ain't work. Work is saying that's the man in power. I know what his agenda is. I'm not exactly in a position to stop him since the Republicans have the Senate and the House. But maybe if I'm willing to work with this man, I might get something out of it for my constituents.
This is the same coded critique that's been used against black people, especially black women, since forever. It's respectability politics wrapped in his ESPN theatrics. Stephen A. Smith is policing tone on behalf of people who can't stand seeing power in the hands of black women. Thing number two: Stephen A. Smith has spent years perfecting this exact same brand for ESPN. Always a shitload of smoke for black athletes saying what the white executives who pay him were too scared to say out loud. It's the same energy now, it's the same conditioning, but he's directing it at black politicians now instead of black athletes. He's not a political thinker, he's a weaponized performer. Thing number three: Stephen A. Smith isn't analyzing power, he's serving it. He's always the loudest voice in the room that never barks at the hand that feeds him, only now the people that are feeding him are the 1% and MAGA. He's been trained to entertain and antagonize, making white audiences feel comfortable with black conflict.
Hey, real quick, everybody, for those of you that are on this YouTube journey like myself, man, I know that one of our big struggles in this thing are our thumbnails. You know what I mean? There's a couple parameters that you need to score high in order to get your material seen by the maximum amount of individuals, you understand? And the thumbnails are a very vital part of it. And so with that said, I would like to offer you an alternative, a tool, in fact, that will allow you to generate images. It'll allow you to face swap. There's all type of precise editing tools available for you within the program. One of my favorite things is that it allows you to plug your thumbnail in, have it graded in 5 different areas. You can, from that point, you can go forward with your idea, or you can choose to have an upgraded version produced by the software. You dig what I'm saying? And in order to do that, go into the link below this video, right? Type in straight like that as your promo code, get yourself 20% off, and be on the way to getting some better thumbnails. And away we go. Back to this content.
He willingly misconstrued what it meant to defund the police, bro. The defund the police movement, the definition of defund the police is essentially a slimming down, a scaling back of the policing of black and brown neighborhoods, where incorrect police actions and misconduct are prevalent. You dig what I'm saying? Where profiling is prevalent. You dig what I'm saying? Cops out here on the hunt, pulling people over for bullshit, hunting for warrants and all type of misdeeds. That's what the defund the police movement is defined by at its core, at its base. But it takes a crooked politician to go out there and swear that Democrats just want to take all police out of all cities and just let people police themselves, or better yet, just let all criminals get away with whatever and just be able to try to give them some counseling. That is a stupid framing, but it takes a stupid people to fall for it, and unfortunately a lot of people did. But those same people should be able to look up right now and realize that all of the boogeymen that they are scared of, that they are afraid of, the people that they entrusted with their lives, have done fuck all to alleviate those stressors in their life. You dig what I'm saying? And so you get a cat like Stephen A. up here repeating the playbook.
Would you worry about racism if he ran for president?
No. I know it exists. I know that you can't escape it, but I do not believe it is as prevalent as some on the left would like us to believe. I do believe a vast majority of Americans judge you on the content of your individual character rather than the color of your skin. I think a lot of people in America, especially in this day and age, now more so than ever before, it's not about race. It's about the fact that they don't give a damn about it because they got their own problems. That's entirely different than believing they are superior to you and they want to hold you back from ascending. That's not what's going on to the degree that it was decades ago. What's going on now is that we have more white Americans and others suffering and worried about the state of our nation. And because they're concerned about that, that's where their worries lie.
This lame ass nigga just sat up here and said, in his response to being asked about if he were president, would he worry about racism, with the quick and emphatic no. Do I believe it exists? Yeah. Do I believe that you can't escape it? Yeah. But I don't think it's as big of a problem as people on the left put it out to be. So from what I'm understanding, he's a Republican out the gate. He letting it be known. Stephen A. sat here and said he thinks that the problem in America is that the white people in America, the people that were prior racists, they've put their racism to the side in light of how concerned they are for the future of the country. They don't care about whether you're black or brown. They just care about the country. Well, we know what television station and what news Stephen A. has been watching. But look all around you, bro. You got people in rural America who are the large part of the MAGA people. Ain't got shit, ain't got a pot to piss in, ain't never had one, never will have one. But you know what they you know what they do have? Skin that's white, not brown. This is what they hang on. This is what Trump plays the race card steadily, bro. As long as they can feel like they are above black and brown people, they're cool. They're cool with all of these government programs being cut out, people losing their job and all of that. For people that care about the country being able to go forward, they don't care about all these healthcare systems and doctors and hospitals and shit shutting down, and cancer research. So for people that Stephen A. swears are more concerned with the state of the United States over the color of somebody's skin and whether or not they deem them credible to be in certain positions and all that, I don't see what he's seeing at that. Nigga, again, I say, fuck Stephen A.
Now what's the word, Captain? I think I caught you lacking. There are 9 more layers that this hell's packing.